recorded.
There we are. We are live.
We are live.
I'm going to have to double check just in case we're not.
No technical hitches this time.
Fingers crossed. But anyway, we're taking a look back at the season. We're going to have a few goals, pop-ups and that. And we're just basically going to wing it and have a laugh and carry on the chat. We'll have to hurry up because Stephen's in a hurry to watch Love Island.
Damn right I am.
So we'll have to get this one.
I've got a text.
So we're going to have to be quick with this one anyway. But
before we start, hit the thumbs up.
Right.
And if you're new, subscribe so you get to see us two numpties when we put videos on.
Right, I'm just going to quickly, before we're going on, just check see if we are actually live, because we do tend to have problems, as you all know. Can you hear us? Is the volume alright, everybody? Hi, someone says.
Hi, Beastie Gamer. Basically, all we're going to cover is basically a look back over the season, some important results, some results that we don't want to really try and remember. Some key points during the season, and basically we'll just, I would like to say, we'll do what we do best and just wing it and just have a bit crap with us.
Quickly,
take the piss out of each other, and
you're not gonna like this. This poll, what I'm just about to put on in the comments, is for Stephen's punishment for getting the score predictions wrong like he always does.
You got one right all season.
Wow. So did you, but before the competition.
Right, I know that.
Right, so Stephen, in there, we've got a few things what we're going to put on, and it's going to be what your punishment is. I've got a few suggestions. Anybody in the comments quickly now who's watching, leave a couple of suggestions what we're going to do, but I'll let you write it. Right, Steve's punishment there for us, mate.
Oh, cheers.
You're closer.
And by the way, save your fingers, because I ain't wearing now black and white, so you can all sod off if you're going to suggest that. Steve's, bloody hell.
That was the thing, Stephen. Even we both spoke about it, and we would not wear anything black and white. It doesn't matter. But you know, it was a no-go straight away. Right, the punishments are skinny dip in your
what the
skinny dip in the.
We can't skinny dip. We'll get chucked. We'll get chucked off.
No,
sorry,
I didn't mean.
Bloody hell!
I didn't mean skinny dip. A bit of a boxing day fucking dip down there, Seaburn. But you have to wear your Sunderland strides what you're on for the match vlog for Wembley. So put in like a dip in Seaburn.
Jesus Christ.
In the nice cold water.
Dip in the Baltic North Sea.
Remember everybody at the thumbs up on the stream, much appreciated.
Dip in the Baltic North Sea wearing Sunderland kegs.
Oh, come back. You've only got a few selections.
Oh, for God's sake.
Just say a dip in the Baltic.
I'll just say dip in the North Sea.
The next one. The next one, he win it like, I can assure you that. I didn't even want to say it because he'd be sick. Eating something hot. Hot spices, either a chili, one of them little pepper things, you know, the little really hot ones. I promise after this we'll get on to the video. But anyway, is there any more? Can I add another option? Is anyone suggesting out Stephen there?
Someone's put eat a rotten egg. Wear a ballerina tutu. I do on Tuesdays anyway, mate, so that's not really a punishment.
I love that.
That's now to me, that, man. You should see me TikToks, bloody hell.
I get the suggestions going.
Eat something. Oh, God.
Right.
I've only ever drunk ate one chili in my life, and that was playing the I'm a Celebrity board game.
Aye.
And it was apparently it was a feeble chili, and I had to run upstairs to be sick.
Oh well, there you go. I tell you what. Say I wouldn't even know where you get rotten egg from. Eat a rotten egg. A few of them are suggesting that. Like a few of them, can't few.
It's the same bloke.
Oh, is it?
He just really wants to say he's eating a rotten egg.
Right. How would I post this, Stephen? Now then. Was that here? Ask you quick. Aye, there you go. Ready? Here comes the punishment out there. Carolina Reaper.
Oh, why aye?
Yeah, I wouldn't be that harsh.
Right. Unless you're trying to get rid of us off this channel, if you want us to eat something, try and make it so that's not something that's going to freaking kill us off. All right?
It can be odd, but don't we?
One chip challenge. You mentioned that, didn't you?
I'm not lying. I wouldn't let you do that because it would kill you.
Oh, God,
I would kill him. To be honest, it would kill me.
I don't eat anything hot. I don't even eat the green pepper armies.
Oh, that's decent things. I'm sure I just post and see what they say.
Just do them ones, aye. It's going to be eat something. I know it's going to be eat something. I'd rather dip in the sea.
I know. I wouldn't like. Right, I think the poll's out there. I'm gonna have a double check.
No, it says must contain between 1 and 35 characters or whatever it is. That's in there.
What? Because I put another option on. Apologies. There we go. Boom. There's the poll. Get voting, everybody. I wonder if it's up. Is it at the top? Or is that's there, Stephen?
Mint.
Here we
So
go.
we'll keep on going back to it's just going to be live to watch.
Right, we'll start with the actual.
I like Lucy May's idea of a punishment.
What?
Burning Newcastle top.
That's a bit easy.
Know what I mean?
He'd love to do that. But anyway, listen, we're going to crack on with the rest of this video as long as the streams are right. It's been a bit of a nightmare beforehand, right? And
I
anyway,
think the streams are right. They've said it is.
I'll go for eat something hot. Am I not allowed to vote?
Cannot be before. Oh, what a shame.
I can't vote. Bastard. Right. We're going to be starting off with this game.
First game of the season.
First game of the season.
And the first of many games against Wigan.
What? We won every single one of them.
We did indeed.
Right, I would say,
I mean, they still won the league, like.
I know. Oh, has it crashed?
There it is there.
Oh, that's out. That's one of the goals in anyway. Aidan McGeady wrong-footed the goalie, sent it the other way. Nice little goal.
Did it many times from the penalty spot.
Did I?
He was always our penalty taker. Like I say, it was a bit of a short-lived season for McGeady, as we know. He only played till November, then never played for us again.
Shame, like
we've said in previous videos, we wish him all the best and we'll thank him for everything he's done for us, because he's probably been the main bright spot we've had in every season we've had in League One.
If he wanted us to go up, man. He said he's not going to leave the club until we did, and we've went up and he's gone.
Right.
And anyway, he's the other goal in that game. I thought it's a bit jumpy like this one, but
It's a bit quicker, isn't it?
I think it's gone. Oh, that.
There you go. Ross Stewart getting his first of many this season, which, as we know, got him his Scotland call-up.
It did I.
He still hasn't made an appearance for them yet, but they reckon, because one of the Scotland players, I didn't know all the names of the Scotland squad, I didn't think many people do, but someone went home injured, so they reckon that Stewart will be getting a shout out, will be getting a game in the next game, or whatever it is, I don't know.
Next time they play. And anyway, this game against Wigan, it was a really good performance by especially Lyndon Gooch. Same with Flanagan.
Yeah.
And Flanagan could have scored 2 goals that day, because I remember bumping into him in Asda on Thompson's Road, and I was banging on his window, and he come out. He was really nice. He
always had time for the fans.
He did. I got a picture with him and I went, you know what, mate, you could have scored 2 goals. I went, who needs fullbacks, because we didn't have fullbacks at that time. And I went, who needs them? And he laughed and went, you're right, aren't you? And I was like, fuck that.
That was the first. I mean, after that game, we were all full of a bit of optimism.
Aye.
With Wigan, let's be honest, they stole some of our players: Jordan Jones, Max Power, Charlie Wyke, and then obviously we knew they'd be up there this season, which the way they ended up winning the league, as we all know. But to go out to get, it was like basically people were saying it was going to be between us two to win the league. I mean, we got off to a decent start, as we all remember. That was a good start, beating Wigan 2-1.
It was an amazing start.
It was, aye.
And then anyway, we went on. I know it was a cup game. I didn't really want to mention that. But then after that, it was our first away game, and I done a match vlog of that. It's on the channel somewhere if you want to go and have a look after this. And it was this goal by who started off. It was Stewart again, actually.
I think it. Oh yeah.
It was Stewart. That goal. It was a bit of a scrappy goal, really.
It's a centre forward's goal.
It was.
He's in the right place at the right time. The cross came in, the keeper tried to get it, and then he just slid in. He was in the right place at the right time. And that's what you want.
You do, aye. And
Gavin Lineker made a career out of them goals.
And that's exactly what he done. He was the right man. And do you know what he done after his celebration? He went like that to the fans. Because do you know what? I was first game of the season. Bear in mind that for the MK Dons, right? They had 8,500 people, and we took 3,500 down there. And I was thinking to myself, Jesus, it's terrible to support that. The stadium holds 30,000, and it was really. What I'm not gonna lie, it was a nice stadium. They've got the leather, the leather chairs,
right?
Spacious as out, you're not cramped in like his place. But it was I was a bit. No, it was a bit embarrassing, really. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, let's be honest. There's teams in League One. Yes, they've got big attendances. They've got freaking. There's Embo's goal against
against MK Dons. That was actually the full squad, MK Dons supporters.
That was a lovely finish, that.
They all thought he was offside, including the goalie.
Yeah, he wasn't. You can see on the video.
That's off me vlog, that.
Yeah, you can see there. I remember the keeper came out and he just dinked it over him in the top corner. It was class.
It was.
Embo's had some good moments this season.
He definitely has, Stephen. But nonetheless, that game there, it was 2-1, we won the game, but Lee Burge made an absolute howler. He rolled the ball out and they just capitalised on it, broke forward and scored from it. And I just thought, oh my God, we can't. Second game of the season, we can't really afford a goalkeeper who's making mistakes like that.
Well, no, but luckily, I mean, like I say, we got off to a good, like, fair enough, like, bit of a decent winning start at the start of the season. And it was like Doyle. He was on fire from the first game. He was 17-year-old he was at the start of the season, and I remember everyone was like, bloody hell, who's this kid? I mean, he didn't look like a 17-year-old when he's on the pitch.
No.
And he was handling everything all right. We were thinking, we've got a right gem here. You know, Flanagan was playing like a brand new player.
He was,
good start of the season, strong.
He did.
Yeah, I can't remember who else was playing
Callum
at the time.
Callum Doyle, he hit the ground running. Now, we got him from Man City, so young, raw, very inexperienced, and when we put him in, he literally took the water, really, didn't he? Under Lee Johnson.
He surprised us all, to be fair, because we were thinking, bloody hell, we've got this 17-year-old kid from Man City. Now, let's be honest, teams like Man City, Chelsea, they normally have good, powerful young ones anyway. And he came up, we were like, 17-year-old coming up against some tough centre forwards in this league, in League One. And like I say, it just didn't seem to faze him. First game he was class, second game he was class, and he went on a run. And I think him and Flanagan were like brilliant at centre halves because Bailey Wright was injured. Then were the two centre halves for the first however many games of the season, and like I say, Flanagan was playing mint, and I think Doyle played well under with Flanagan as like the boss, if you will. Like the two of them playing alongside each other. And like I said, Doyle was a joy to watch because he likes to come out with a ball and then bomb forward, and like he was just tackling. He was crucial to us at the start of the season. And like I say, Flanagan was playing really well. Flanagan was playing really well up until the last 3 games he had for us before we sold him. But
what the fuck is that?
What's the matter with you?
I must be looking at the wrong thing, wrong year.
You put his arm on here.
I'm looking at the wrong year on that. But anyway, we're going to just be touching upon like key points in this season where when we look back, we think we shouldn't have really dropped points in that game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, we're going to mention a few games like that as well. Starting with Fleetwood, if you remember, I think this is. I'm just going to double check on this, but I'm sure it was Fleetwood.
The first defeat we had was Burton, yeah. Bogey team Burton.
What the fuck?
And then Fleetwood was when we were winning 2-0. 2-0 with 9 minutes left, and then.
You're right. I've skipped forward a bit there too much. You're right. We did get beat 1-0 off Burton. It was a horrible game, terrible game away. 1-0 away. Then it was.
Was it not one of them? It was one of them games. I remember right. I think we had God knows how many chances, and we played them off the park.
You're right. It was. I think we had like 20 chances or something.
Something after that. We played them off the park, but we just could not. We'd still be playing now. We still wouldn't have scored that game. It was bloody. It was ridiculous. But like I say, it happens in football. I remember when we were back in the Premier League years ago. When we played against Blackpool at the stadium, like Blackpool beat us 2-0. They had 2 shots at goal and they scored 2 goals. We had 33 shots at goal, and I think we only had 5 on target or something. Yeah. And obviously we got beat that game, but it happens in football.
It does.
Played them off the park. I remember after the game we were saying, we played well. I was like, yeah, but you can't be playing well like that and then not getting results.
Exactly, you're right.
So that was our first defeat of the season.
Then it was this one. I'm going to put this goal in. The reason I'm highlighting this goal, voice break, realise that I can't even talk now. Why I'm sticking this goal in is because it reminds us so much when Max Power ballooned it out from right out against Lincoln when he should have went out wide and then the ball would have come in the mix.
Playoff semi-final set leg.
And Winchester here, when I was first looking at this video, it did remind us of that goal, and I'll put it in. But the thing is with this one, Winnie hit the target. Maybe it comes out.
Yes,
it's skipping all over that one. I'll try and sort it out for everyone so they can have a decent look. Tap it off the loop. Nah, this is it. What?
It took a deflection going in, but who gives a shit? You know what I mean? But he did. He took the shot, took the deflection, and went in. Winnie Hester, like I say, he's been one of my stars of the season. Winnie Hester, I said it when we spoke about it at the end of the season.
Yes, he's done a job.
For me, he's been playing out of position pretty much the whole season. and he's been Mr. Reliable.
I too.
Very, very rarely makes any mistakes. When we first signed him the previous season, like people were a bit we're going from League Two. They were like, "Why are we getting him?" And he didn't really do much. He did certain things. I still liked him that second half of the first season. We got him because we got him in the January transfer window, and I quite liked some of the things.
Forest Green, wasn't it?
Forest Green, we got him from and I thought he showed some good things there in that game, but then this season he played right back most of the time, or right wing back, and you kind of felt him like he was absolutely class.
But the thing is, Stephen, right, gone into the new season in the Championship, are you going to risk putting Winchester at right back when he's done outstanding at right back League One?
Yeah.
Are you going to risk putting him there in the Championship, or stick him in the midfield where he's supposed to play, and then get a proper recognised right back in?
Well, look, we've got to be honest. We're all hoping. We know that we need to be busy in the transfer window.
Oh, 100%.
We need to be busy in the transfer window, so we're going to be bringing new players in. I'd like to see Niall Huggins or Trey Hume playing at right back next season. Niall Huggins is going to be a class player. He really is, and so is Trey Hume. But some of the things I've seen, he hasn't done that wonderful for us yet. But like what we've just been talking about there, when his first season when we got him in the January, didn't really set the stadium alight.
No.
You know what I mean? But then this season he's been Mr. Consistent. He's been doing spot on, and then. So who's to say Trey Hume's not going to do the same?
That's the thing.
We've got a full pre-season and build up friendlies and all that with Alex Neal as a manager. Mm-hmm. So he'll implement his ways on the whole squad. Like I said, Niall Huggins will hopefully be back from injury. You've got Trey Hume. We've got Circle on the other side, but we will need to bring in another fullback. We'll probably need another centre half as well. Well, in fact, no, we don't probably. We do need another centre half because obviously Dawes went back to City. And we're going to be bringing in midfielders. Yes, we've got a strong squad, and the football, I've said it before, the football is different in the Championship. Mm-hmm. It's not like in the League One. The officials hopefully are better. They should be better. And it's a different way of playing football. League One's just a lot of people get kicked up a height and then referees making bad decisions. It's a lot more technical, would you say, technical football?
Of course it is.
You know what I mean? So like game plans come into play. So I'm looking forward to seeing the better style of football and what Alex Neal does with a full pre-season, not just coming in and then...
Just to interrupt you quickly.
It's quite alright.
The vote, Stephen, and you'd probably be a bit happy about this, the vote is at...
69% for dipping the Baltic, not see.
And we'll be doing a video and bring it to you on the channel, so you know he hasn't faked it.
just so you know that apparently this dip in the Baltic North Sea, I've got to do it wearing nothing but my Sunderland boxes. So, of those of you who watched our... Wembley vlog, you'll see me beautifully modelling them at my front door. You know what I mean?
It'll be a laugh, and anyway.
I'll definitely need sock stuff down the front of them if I'm jumping in the freaking North Sea.
But and anyway, it's got to be a proper dip. I didn't mean just like stick your arse in. You know, you've got to proper jump in.
Listen, I'm ex-army. If I want to do something, I want to do it properly.
Exactly, mate. That's what I like to hear. But anyway, remember to hit the thumbs up.
What we could even
enjoying the videos.
What we could even do is wait until high tide, and I'll jump off the promenade.
Which part?
No, next to the cat and dog steps. That's where I used to jump in when I was a kid.
Where's that? Down Sabre?
You know what? The cat and dog steps. And then you come up, you got the little chippy thing, and you come down, then you've got the corner next to the toilets. That's where we used to jump off when we were kids.
Well, see, you like it, so what's the point?
No, I used to like it when I was a kid.
Why didn't you just eat both? You may as well.
I'll tell you what, I need something hot, then I'll be trying to fling myself in the freaking North Sea to cool down.
Right, and anyway, let's move on. That was a good... We're kind of jumped that too far ahead, you know what I mean?
No, it's got, like, obviously we've talked about the Burton game. The Wimbledon, he's just showed you the goal there, the Winchester one.
Missed the Blackpool. Well, no, actually, I want to touch upon the Blackpool.
No, I want to come back to the EFL Cup later on. Because that was the Wycombe. Our first meeting with Wycombe.
I remember this game.
At home, we beat them 3-1.
It was goals from Ross Stewart, got 2 goals. He got a header, and he scored with his left foot, and it was a class finish. He put in like the roof of the right hand side, the roof of the net. It was an amazing day. But like you see, it was funny how we ended up playing them in the final, wasn't it? Wycombe.
Well, it was. I mean, everyone thought big things from them because obviously they're just getting relegated from the Championship. But they kept a very similar squad. Mm-hmm. They didn't bring that many new players in. From what I'm aware, I think Sam Vokes and Josh Scowen, who was probably one of their best players this season, Josh Scowen. But
he was pedestrian against us at Wembley, really, wasn't he?
It's because we played the way we played. I mean, they came into the game a bit in the second half, but
they did.
We handled them very, very well. You know what I mean? The way Alex Neal had us playing at the end of that season, I don't think. I think unless it was Rotherham, we would have beat anyone. You know what I mean?
And again, I don't know. We didn't get beat off them, did we? 1-1. Two class goals from that kid, and he scored an own goal as well. But looking at it, like you've just said there about Alex Neil, now what I love about him, not actually, I'll wait till the Wembley game. We've got the goals in there. We're going to bring the goals in this SAFC uncut. And just for people who's watching, do us a favour, go and subscribe to that channel there on the bottom. That's the title of it. Oh, my hand's fucking disappearing. There. We're going to be using that more. It's a bit more relaxed channel. Didn't have to like. And
basically, it's going to be, you know, when you see videos of us, it's a bit basically it's going to be the you've been framed version of other things. It's when things gone horribly wrong, and we take them out.
It's got to be like all sorts, really. It's more chilled, it's more relaxed. We didn't really care, so we'll be tossing everything on there.
Aye.
Right, what we're looking at there, Steve?
Well, we're talking about there the first time we played Wycombe at home and we beat them 3-1. Paul spoke about that. And then we had Accrington and Stanley, we beat them 2-1. And then our first major mess up of the season.
You're right. At this game against Fleetwood, right? Sunderland supporters tend to look back at results like this, especially me, as we were leading this game 2-0, and we threw it away. Really, I think Bailey Wright scored an own goal that day.
No, I think he made a mistake though. It was Ross Stewart put us 1-0 up in the 19th minute. Then McGeady scored a penalty in the 76th minute. And then in the 81st minute they pulled one back, and then the 98th minute, 90 plus 7 minutes, they got a penalty. Was it not Bailey Wright to give away the penalty or something like that?
I think it was. I remember Bailey Wright doing something wrong. Comment below if you remember, and we'll get into the chat in a minute after this game. And anyway,
but I 2-0 up against Fleetwood with 9 minutes to go away, plus ridiculous amount of stoppage time, and then we ended up drawing that game 2-2. That was a major flaw. I think that was just after freaking Johnson got manager of the month. So the usual the usual curse. Did he not get it twice?
He got it for December.
I thought he got it twice.
No, I didn't think he did.
I thought he got it for the first one.
I'm not sure. Like, actually, come to think about it, as people who's watching, as Lee Johnson had the manager of the month more than the once when he had it in December. Well, I can remember because the month after he got the sack. But I'm not sure. I come to think about it now.
Well, no. Oh God.
But
well, after the Fleetwood game, we went to the cup game, but we'll get back to that. We'll get on that later. Then we had our game against Bolton at home.
1-0. Do you know what? It was a very close game.
That was another one he has to go as well, wasn't it?
I think it might have been.
He ran down the.
I'll
push it on here. I can't tell you.
I'll double check.
When I'm sure he went down the right hand side. I called Witch after 17 minutes. He went bombing forward on one of his many runs, which he did loads from the right back position or right wing back position, and he did it really well. And he played the ball in, then he got the ball back, and he continued his run, and he slotted it in. I remember it.
But it was a very close game. Their centre back was absolute unit.
He was immense.
Their centre back was absolute unit.
He had Stewart in his pocket the whole game.
He did. Stewart didn't have a sniff, and I think that's when Stewart went on a. No, it weren't actually. No, it weren't. I'll tell a lie. But Stewart did dip in the season, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think it was round about the time what she called was due to get sacked, Lee Johnson. But no, looking like that, like I was saying, that was a very hard game. It was a relief that we won that game in anyway. But anyway, moving on from that. Then really, this game was against Cheltenham. It was 5-0. I've done a vlog of that game and all. Well, every home game I have. That game, there's Nick. We can't really talk much about it. They've just came up and we battered them 5-0. That
wasn't even a close contest. It could
have been 8 or 9.
We played them off the park. I can't even remember. I can't remember any standout goals. It was that long ago.
No, you cannot. But this game, you will remember, Stephen.
This one. This was
this game.
I'm just looking through here, and this was a bit of a
waterlogged pitch day.
Oh God,
You remember that? Remember the waterlogged pitch? And looking at it, a few of us were saying, it's just a one-off. We couldn't adapt to their environment. They play on that pitch. They knew how to control the ball on a soaking pitch, and we didn't. But it wasn't really hard. And
by the way, we're talking about the Portsmouth game, just in case none of you...
Did we not mention it?
No, we just said the waterlogged pitch there. But it was, the game shouldn't have went ahead. The game shouldn't have... I remember watching it. And the ball would go up in the air and it would come down and just go slap and just stay on the deck, and you're like, wait.
Well, it was Sirkin, and that was Diaco, down the touchline. He was trying to dribble the ball out.
You kind of dribble in water, I've tried.
It was stuck and they broke. You just have to long ball it basically and hope for the best.
Pretty much. I mean, we were whinging about it saying, the game shouldn't have played, but it was the same pitch for them. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They made it count. We didn't. And that people were saying it stopped us playing our way football, which yes, it did. But at the same point, Portsmouth didn't practice. They didn't prepare for our game in a fixed swimming pool, did they?
No.
So they just dealt with the conditions a hell of a lot better than we did, and that was our first. Unfortunately, not our only, but our first hammering of the season.
It was,
You know what I mean?
That's the thing. It was
I think what hurt most about that was the fact that it was freaking Pompey.
It was,
because we've all, we've had a big run-ins with them every season. You know what I mean?
A bit of a, I wouldn't say so much a rivalry now.
I think last season was a League One rivalry.
Last season wasn't really.
No.
The seasons before, when we first dropped down, that was more feisty, but that one wasn't really like that. The game after that was a 2-1 win against Lincoln, Stephen. I literally can't even remember this game.
Well, the reason you can't is because it was in the EFL. This season we didn't give a toss about the EFL. We've won it, and then we're like, right, this season we just want to concentrate on getting promoted. So the EFL trophy, we didn't. It was all weekend squads and all that.
No, you didn't want to talk about this, and we're not even going to cover this game, this cup, the Papa John's Trophy, on this video. But I went to that game against Man United under 21s, was it? Aye. And the reason why I'm mentioning this is because I watched Dice play, and I thought Dice was really good. He was direct, and he got a goal and all, and that's why I was a bit surprised when the retainer list came out and he weren't a part of it. He got chased basically.
Chased.
Get out! I would have liked to see him stay. But anyway, Stephen, we're moving on to Gillingham.
Yeah, 2-1 at their place. We only had 10 men.
That's a surprise.
It is, because normally the other team with 10 men, and then we mess it up.
That's the thing, Stephen.
Embleton got sent off. Well, we're only two.
I remember that was a bad tackle.
They went 1-0. They went up. Try that again. They went 1-0 up with a penalty. Then O'Brien scored in the dying seconds of the first half, and then Big Tom Flanagan popped up to score the second goal. And then Embleton got sent off 13 minutes later.
And we held on.
Looking at the stats there, I mean, they had 25 shots to our 14, but possession-wise, even though for the last, say, 25 minutes, half an hour, we only had 10 men. We're still better than possession-wise and passes. We did
we just controlled the ball better than they could, didn't we?
Well, basically, I think our class showed up on that one.
To be honest, I obviously done a live stream of the game, but I can't really remember this game. The only thing I do remember is Elliot Embleton getting sent off, and it was right on the halfway line in front of the dugouts.
Yeah, and
he slid in. I thought it was a yellow personally. It did look like a yellow card. I remember Danny Collins going mental saying it's a yellow. I can't believe it. Obviously, when you get streaming it on the telly, you can hear it. But anyway, that's that game, which I was surprised that we did held off for that. And the next game, Stephen, we beat Crewe 4-0 away. But bearing in mind, Crewe, they've had a very, very, very poor season. I think that only at one point when we played them the second time, they'd only won 1 in 15 games.
Something daft like that.
Something daft like that. I think they drew 1 in 15 games. I couldn't believe it. It was just defeat after defeat. And it was David Artell. Well, no, David Artell. He tried to copy of Joey Barton. Now with the daft interview, big club, big budget, massive stadium, and all that bullshit. The season of 4. So I was glad that we pumped them 4-0 on that day. Right, moving on.
We're moving on from that. That was when we started...
and this is the decline.
This is the decline.
Didn't get us wrong. There's a few surprise results in there after this game. What I want to mention, but it's the 1-0 defeat to Charlton at the Stadium of Light.
That was when Stockley, who I've spoke about in previous times when we played Charlton this season, he tortured our defence.
Stockley, I thought he played for.
Not Stockley.
Rotherham.
No, that's Stockton, isn't it? Stockley's
Cole Stockton is.
Cole Stockton plays for Morecambe, but Stockley is the big massive fellow who plays up front for Charlton.
Oh, is it?
Aye.
I thought it was the one for Rotherham. You get mixed up, the Geordie lad.
No, that's Michael Smith.
Oh, Smith, why are you? I'm getting mixed up.
You know what I mean? But now Stockley, I remember we've played him a few times, and he's just a unit, and he tortured our defence, and he got the goal as well.
But you know that on that game, I thought we played kind of alright, mate. It's just we couldn't tackle it. We weren't clinical enough.
No, but
they got that one goal, and that was it. They were never scoring after that.
But that's why they didn't need it, did they?
No, they didn't. I don't have match for that game and all. Where we're now.
The next one was a very bad one.
This one. Well, do you know the lad who donated the other day, that Gav?
Yeah.
He says he went there and he heard vile, horrible things from our supporters on that day. He says, I didn't really want to mention it, but it was what you cannot see it really, like racism and all that shit. But he heard a load of that in the stands, and he was thinking, fucking hell. At one point, he said that he was going nationally. I think he did nationally.
Well, that's one of the things. It's like you don't expect it as a Sun supporter, which is a bit bigoted of us, if you will. We were in League One for a reason, and we stayed there for as long as we did for a reason.
No.
So we should never go to a game thinking we're better than this, or we shouldn't be expecting to get a result every time, but to lose 5-1 to Rotherham was a right kick in the bollocks.
100%. It's terrible. We got dominated up from beginning to end, and I think it was the time when we were seeing teams are sussing us out. If the physical and the show aggression and getting our faces, we panicked and we didn't know how to play.
Yeah.
And I think that was round about the time that happened.
Yeah. Well, it was the end of October, and then 3 days later, we played Chef Wed.
Was it?
Aye. No, 4 days later we played Chef Wed.
My worst. Do you know what? It's up there with the worst ever away day. I'd done a vlog on that day and I couldn't even barely do the vlog. I was that pissed off. It was miserable. It was stinking. The toilets in there are absolutely deplorable.
Deplorable?
Deplorable.
Oh, you remember on the last video I told you he's had word of the day toilet roll? Deplorable must be the word of the day.
Yep, I've been eating dictionaries. Basically, we got battered. Well, I wouldn't say we got battered.
We got battered.
We didn't.
We got battered.
But we're in the game and then they scored their... They took their chances, really, and we got beat 3-0. And I noticed a lot of unrest in the stands about Lee Johnson on that day.
Well, it was because of the, like you say, teams were sussing us out. And as we all know, or the majority of us, Johnson didn't have a plan B.
Nah.
He only had one plan, and there's what, like I said, I quite liked him. It's a blessing in disguise that he eventually did go, and Alex Neil came in. I'm not going to try and correct that, but
well, you've got to thank them for the points he accumulated in the first 10 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and he did have some good results. He took us on a good cup run, which obviously we're talking about in a bit. But there was certain, like Rotherham and then Chef Wed. That's 8 goals were conceded in 2 games in the space of 4 days. We conceded 8 goals, and it was because that teams had watched our videos of previous games and went, all right, we've got Stewart up front on his own. They've got this, that, right, and we've got them sussed, and that's the way it was because he never changed his plan. I think he kept the same team as well. In fact, I think that if you remember rightly, Rotherham was the first game where the Hoff he conceded the 5 goals.
He was having a good season up until that point.
And then he conceded the 3 against Chef Wed, and people were like, bloody hell, you can't keep him in goal again. But
then we'll quickly mention the Papa John's Trophy. We got beat off Mansfield.
No, we didn't.
We did, look.
No, we didn't. That wasn't the Papa John's Trophy, was it? That was the FA Cup.
Oh, FA Cup.
2 years in a row, first round, knocked out by Mansfield.
Then there was the
EFL Trophy against Bradford.
Got beat up Bradford. But then...
Well, it was 1-1, but we got beat up penalties. The Bradford game, I personally remember that game very well. EFL Trophy, I went to the game, but I was also a guard of honour. I was wearing army veteran gear with my medals and my berry and that on.
I knew I would have come down.
When we obviously, me and loads of other veterans marched and people who were still serving, did a lap of the pitch, which was great. It was an AFL Trophy game, so there wasn't a massive attendance there, but we got all clapped and all that, which is always nice to feel, you know what I mean? And then we lined down the side of the tunnel when the players came out, and we stood there and they came out in between us and all that. Some of the players were like, "Oh, just thank you for your service" and all that, which was nice. And then after they got on the pitch and we got told to get straight back into the stands, and I was like, "No, I'm going out to see Lee Johnson first." Lee Johnson was stood in his technical area ready for the game to kick off, and I walked over there. And it was the only time I'd seen him. Well, I'd never seen him up close in person. I'd seen him on the telly, and I'd seen him obviously from where I sit in the stadium in the technical box. But when I went over to see him and I was in the technical box with him, I didn't realise until I got there how small he actually is. If you'd love to stand next to him, he'd make you feel 5'9". He really would. But no, I shook his hand and he was like, "Oh, thanks for your service." I was, "Oh, no bother, thanks very much." I said, "Keep doing what you're doing," even though we just had 2 shocking results. But and he was something. He was honestly, he's fucking tiny, absolutely tiny.
Oh yeah. But anyway, we'll move on from that. I remember this game that was Ipswich. But before I do, I know I've been waffling for a bit. I'll quickly go on the chat, Stephen. I've been neglecting them. Know what I mean? Shouldn't be doing that. Right, pop up chat. Right, here we go, because Stephen's got better eyesight than me. When it decides to load on. Oh, how can I minus this down? Right, Stephen, basically you're doing the dip.
It looks like it, right. I've got someone there's called Nick Strange who said, "Hi, Jazzy and Steve, just joined."
Alright, thanks
for joining us.
Hit the thumbs up, everybody, and all before we crack on the chat.
Now, there's people, see, we're going to mention this at the end, but there's people talking about it in the chat about KLD, our owner, if you will, or the young kid who's got all the money. You're saying he's been banned from driving for 8 weeks because he was doing 110 miles an hour. Now, if you've got to bear in mind, the kind of cars he drives probably does 110 mile an hour in third gear. So sometimes he might just forget.
I've had to go with a Subaru Impreza before, massive fast engine, and I was gone just normal, and I looked down, I was like, wow, 120. I was thinking, Jesus.
This was on a track day, by the way. It wasn't on the roads or anything like that. Wouldn't ever can't condone things like that. But definitely. He's been a naughty boy, slap on the wrist, 8 weeks ban driving. I'm sure he'll be devastated. That means his chauffeur will be getting a bit more money.
Well, he'll come in on his helicopter like he did before.
Well, you know what I mean. But I'm not going to mention that anymore. Because I'll be honest, I didn't give a toss.
Nah, see him. Right. You know what I mean? Who's these? Do you want to mention a few of the new ones who come in?
Mizzou. All right, lads, how's it going? Here, I'm really missing going to the match on the coach and stuff. You will be. Everyone, all football supporters in the summer, they always have there's no football, what am I going to do? I get used to donating me £10 every week to Bet365. Obviously you miss the atmosphere, going to the pub before the games and
all the betting sites are available.
So having a few pints, getting involved in the atmosphere and then getting there, but we know it comes around every year, but just never really emotionally prepared for it.
But I was just telling him off stream, I can't wait for the new season to start.
Yeah, well, it's starting earlier this year.
Then we're
going to have a month off just before Christmas.
I'll go back a bit, Stephen, because we've missed a few out.
Bloody hell, mate. I know my eyesight's good, but...
Pick one of these.
Can I just say, personal question for Steve, which mob did you serve with? I was in the British Army, mate. I was in the Royal Regiment of Fusiliers.
The Geordie Regiment.
Yeah, it was a Geordie Regiment, didn't I?
Don't know why you picked a Geordie one.
I got tricked in training. We've been through this. We've said this, Tom Hodgson, we've said this. Getting rid of Flanagan, not replacing him, was bad in testament to how well Alex Neal has done. Yeah, you're right.
He's really
that for me. That's one of the few mistakes that Speakman made. We got rid of Flanagan, but he thought he had a centre half lined up. I've heard since then after that there was 4 centre halves lined up. Obviously, we're only going to get one of them. And then he thought, basically, he was a bit naive. He thought it was done and dusted with at least one of them. Agreed to sell Flanagan, and then all 4 of the centre-halves that he had lined up all fell through. So Flanagan was gone, and we didn't have any replacement in. But luckily...
There's one thing, Stephen, though, we can't agree on. He can't be making them silly mistakes in the Championship.
No, definitely not. And I reckon he'll learn from that as well.
Apparently, he said that... Alex Neal's got control of who he brings in and who he wants to.
But I think they'll work together.
Oh, they'll work together.
But I think what he means by that is Speakman's not going to bring anyone in unless Alex Neal says yes.
Aye.
So Speakman will be probably the one looking and saying, right, we've got these here, and then Alex Neal will have a look and say, right, yeah, him, yeah. You know what I mean?
Well,
he's not going to bring someone in and just say, right, manage him.
Oh,
you know what I mean? So, like I say, we're not going to get on to Speakman because we'll be here arguing all night. And like I say, Love Island's on at 9. So, someone there saying serious. Loves the chat. Embo's been most underrated player this season. I'm going to disagree with you there. I think with how he was with Blackpool the season before, he was instrumental in them getting promoted in the playoffs. I think we were expecting a bit more
that's
at the start of the season. I think what we've said many times is it didn't really... I mean, don't get us wrong, he had some games where he started and he was brilliant. Popped up with some cracking goals. But we also, with Embleton, I think... especially towards the back end of the season, he was more effective coming off the bench, playing the last 20 minutes, last 25 minutes.
When he started the game, Steve,
he kind of died down. He didn't really do nothing.
No.
He was there. He was ineffective. He was ineffective. But once he was on the bench and he was coming on late on, he was popping up with goals or popping up with assists. As we know, we're jumping way at the end now, but Alex Neal put the trust in him. Last game of the season, playoff final, started him, and he was cracking. He was mint. Screaming goal, get the first goal in.
Any man about you, mate? You want to have the name and all, so they know? Well, obviously they'll know. Well, fucking hell.
There's some people there trying to fucking get me tortured. Well, ignore yous. I think beating them pissed off a bit. Well, that you're commenting about I kind of gone back to what we were talking about at the time. Are we going to Watford next season?
Oh, I don't know about
we didn't know. We might do. It's not really a hard one to get to. No. Watford are favourites to win the league next season. So... we'll see how that goes.
I can't wait to do our top 6 prediction video and bottom 3 video.
Yeah.
I can't wait to do that. There'll be a surprise in where I think Sunderland's.
And I guarantee none of us agree. Me and him didn't agree because we never do. That's pretty much it. We'll go down to the bottom of the chat now because people have been putting stuff in.
There we are.
People talking about players, bringing them in, bringing them out. I'm not going to get we're not going to get too much into players coming in. As you'll notice throughout the summer, when we get linked with players, we'll put a video out telling you what we think of that player or our chances of getting him or whether we think he should or not. But bear in mind, whether we think we should or not is irrelevant. But,
a bit like the Ruddy video, the John Ruddy video done the other day.
Yeah.
There was loads of rumours and speculations about him. Obviously, he's left Wolves and also he's playing under Alex Neil. So rumours has it that Alex Neil might be looking at him. So we brought that video for you and we'll be doing that for anymore.
We'll be doing that throughout the summer.
Aye.
But there's things there. People saying, would you have Maguire back? No.
No, in the Championship.
Someone there saying there, do you think we should be in for Twine? Like, look,
good player him.
Good player. He had a really good season last season. But one thing I've been saying, I've said it to Paul a few times, is the players that are fresh in our mind at the minute is players that we've played against in League One.
It is, aye.
We've made the jump up to the Premiership. I fucking wish. We've made the jump up to the Championship, right? So we need to be looking at bringing in Premiership quality players or
Championship
proven, established Championship players. You know what I mean? It's all very well saying, well, he was mint last season, so we'll bring him up. It's a different league. It's a different. I'm not saying they couldn't do it in the Championship, but I think the first thing we need to do is bring in established players with Premiership quality, Championship quality, and then we can look back and maybe to look at other players and things like that. Because I know, people like look at Vardy worked his way up the leagues. There's plenty of people do it. But I think, me personally, I'd be looking more at established players, Premiership quality, Championship quality, before we start looking at bringing players up from League One, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because we can easily link ourselves with loads of players who
do you know what, Stephen? You'd be surprised because I actually do agree with you.
What?
I really do agree with you. You're right. Where you're looking at, like now, your supporters saying, Scott Twine, this one, that one from the League One. Yeah. It's just because they've done well in the League One. And to be honest, though, Scott Twine done really well for Swindon when he was there and on. So he's been at League 2. League One, could he now gone up to the Championship? You didn't know.
We didn't know. There's someone there, someone's put on there. Only League One player I want is Camera. He'd agree with that. He loved him when we played against Plymouth because he ran the show, didn't he?
Oh, he did. He was mint him. I tell you what, he's about 6'7" or something like that, isn't he? You didn't think he can move the ball as well as what he can with being so tall, but he was immense. He was solid. And I probably would sign that player gone into the Championship. But in any way, we're going to have to move on with this video.
Before we go on, I was trying to call it Dan Giles. Has anyone heard more about Donald and Co being bought out? No, there's been nothing more said from that. We did a video on it last week on what we know so far. Nothing else has been said. But what they did say is that the whole process might take up to 5 weeks. We've just got to wait out for that. When more news comes out, we'll do a video and let you know.
Straight away.
Jack Watson, Epic. I know you retracted your message, but I've seen it. My name's not Lee, it's Steve. I'm guessing that's why you retracted it and just put your next message as hi. But hi.
All right, Jack, mate.
Charlie Hodgson has just put on Ross Stewart just bought Wycombe. I don't know if you want to elaborate on that because I don't know what you're on about. I don't think you get paid that much from Sunderland in League One. But Rangers friendly in Portugal's being confirmed apparently.
We'll do that last one and then we're going to get back onto the video.
Lucy may ask him who favourite player this season. We did this in a previous video. For me,
can't hard that like.
For me, I mean, there's several to choose from. I think the most consistent one, or the one that I think is the most consistent one, is probably Iniesta. But then there's been obviously you kind of take with Ross Stewart and Pritchard and things like that. But
Pritchard for me, like
I think for the games he played and how. For the games that were played and like not being injured very much, I think that it's got to be between Stewart and Iniesta for me.
But Stewart went the full season without being injured, which is amazing because we bought him injured.
Yeah, and Iniesta did the same up until the last couple of games, and I was gutted for him.
But Pritchard, when he got injured and he was out the team, you could notice it. You noticed the style of player we were playing. We missed him, and for me, Pritchard, he was like a little technician, wasn't he? He was mint, but then again. Patrick Roberts was mint.
But like we were saying, Chris for them at the end of the season, there's lots of things you've got to look into with things like that. But I mean, as we always do, we'll like he mentioned Patrick Robertson that there, and Jack Clark. When he might not have mentioned him, but when it's at the end of the season, it's very easy to forget about the good performances at the first half of the season because they're not as fresh in your mind.
Like Flanagan, he was mint.
Yeah. Now someone's put on there, congratulations to Lyndon Gooch because he proposed to his missus today. Lyndon, I know you're an avid watcher, so congratulations. Stay engaged, didn't get married. Rachel, if you're watching, I love you.
You bastard.
Mad Mistakes popped in. Hello, Mad Mistake. I'll tell you that. Right, let's get the chat off and let's get back on this season. We'll put the chat back on in a bit.
We'll jump back on in a minute. We have it up to.
I've only got 35 minutes and then Love Island starts.
He's really not lying when he's saying he's gone.
No, I'm actually not lying.
He's not lying.
It's alright, when he quickly runs. Right, anyway, we won that one, we lost that one. Right, anyway.
No, but that. Ipswich. I remember this game. Ipswich battered us, believe it or not.
No, they did,
They absolutely battered us this game, and we won 2-0, but everybody was calling for Lee Johnson's head round about that time. I remember it now. And even though we'd won that game, after the game, people were still saying the same thing. We played shite, and, you know, he's sort of, I wouldn't say he's peeped now with the cracks, but he did basically that game.
Yeah.
And then the next another one, what sticks in my mind, simply because we couldn't keep a clean sheet, and we were coming up against a team that we should really on paper be beaten, was Shrewsbury away.
Yeah.
This really pissed me off, because we were 1-0 up. They got a man sent off
early on as well.
Really early on. Really early on.
I think it was in the first half they got someone sent off.
And we still couldn't see the game out. Lee Johnson, like you says before, he didn't have a plan B. He didn't know how to shut up shop.
No.
And that cost us. And that one there stuck in a lot of supporters' minds. And when it weren't gone right for Lee Johnson, they tend to revert back to that game as well. Not just that one, there was ones.
But it goes back to the old no plan B scenario, and he played one way and one way only. When it worked brilliantly, but when it didn't, he didn't know how to change it. That's why normally we didn't lose like one game or mess up one game. It was only a couple or two or three, you know what I mean?
Right, and then we're going on.
After that one would be Cambridge. Just come up, they had a bit of a... they just come up from League Two.
To be honest, we struggled that game as well.
Yeah.
The conditions were terrible. I remember that day it was very windy, and we couldn't really cope with it. I know we got the result. That's all that matters. But we struggled against Cambridge that day. I remember that one now. It was a very windy day. We were shooting whatever way we were, but in the second half they made it work for them, and they got the goal. And it could have been different.
Oh, right. But one thing we've done this season, excuse me, particularly under Alex Neal, is something that we haven't been able to really do under any other manager in League One, and that's see out results. Instead of letting the other team score the late equaliser or late winner, we've been the ones doing it, which has been nice to watch, to be fair, like, you know what I mean?
I know. So, it was the Oxford... This was very boring game and all. I remember it. I can't really remember it in detail.
To be fair, like, but I'm thinking December was when friggin' Johnson got the cursed manager of the month award, wasn't it, for December. We drew the first game with Oxford 1-1. Then we had a game against Morecambe, the home game. I remember that we stuffed them 5-0. That was really a challenge, to be fair. Like, we played them off the park. The only chances they did create was like that Stockton, he was offside most of the time, or I think he had a couple of half-arse chances, but they pretty much tried to put the backs to the wall because we were all over them and proper pressure on them. And whenever they got the ball, just pumped it up to Cole Stockton. But fortunately, he couldn't do that game.
He couldn't. We kept him quiet. Do you know what? He done outstanding for them, considering.
Oh, hell of a season.
Considering where they were in League One, he done outstanding for them to get all them goals. I think it was like 19 or something, wasn't it? 19 goals he got. Something like that. But something like that.
For a team that got relegated as well. Or did they get relegated, or did they just stay up?
They just stayed up. I
think. Aye. Oh, they did. In the last year, because we played them.
Yeah.
We did. Aye. And then we had Ipswich, where we drew 1-1 down their place.
No, you missed Plymouth out, mate.
I have indeed. We've missed Plymouth out. We beat them 2-1 at home.
Beat them 2-1, aye. We'll just quickly skip through a few. Tell you what, let's get to the...
Well, I'll do this now. We'll do the AFL Cup run.
No, because I need to get the chef word, because I've got a few goals to show people.
Yeah, but we'll do the AFL one, because that's the end of that run now. So obviously, I've just come up here. We've got the 5-1 where we got beaten off Arsenal. Aye. Where, yes, we got beat 5-1 off Arsenal, but
we're alright for the majority
of the time. We're alright for especially the first half. Hell of a goal by Broadhead. Aye. And that was it was a quarter final. We were the only team outside the Premier League still in the competition at that stage of the competition. And I don't think anyone thought we were going to go to the Emirates and get a win.
Their quality shown.
But what we did see, the chances they had, they put away. Like he says, their quality shown. And we put up a good fight. We still created some chances, and we did. And although the scoreline was 5-1, it wasn't a 5-1 game.
No.
But we knew we weren't going to go and win the cup, you know what I mean? But we put a good show for ourselves, and it let people see, because it was on Sky and all that, and it let people see that we're still trying to get back at where we should be.
A lot of supporters at Arsenal says Sunderland fans outsang them, and it was an embarrassment, the fact that how loud Sunderland supporters were compared to what they were. And they won 5-1. Do you know what I mean? So we did the RE for, like Stephen says, we played really well for the majority of that time. Yeah. It's just their quality in the final third. Wow.
But we'll beat some good teams to get there, to get to that far. We'll beat QPR, Championship team. Fair enough, it was on penalties, but we'll still beat them. We'll beat it was a Blackpool. We'll beat them 3-2. So you know what I mean.
Right, moving
Good
on,
cup
Stephen.
run.
Moving on. Doncaster away.
Aye.
It was a decent result. 3-0 away. It was kind of comfortable day. I remember it. But, you know, it was just one of the, it was quite a surprise, to be honest. But Doncaster have had probably one of the worst seasons in living memory. They got relegated that season, and they were just like that, on the decline. And so, you know, it wasn't as big a surprise what some might have thought. But this next game was Sheffield Wednesday. I'll bring the goal up.
I missed this game.
I didn't.
I was covered up. I spent this Christmas and New Year locked in the house with COVID, me and the wife.
Well, on this one, when you click on our channel, this is the for returning subscribers. It's always this video. What you'll see, it's there's one goal. Ross Stewart. Look how he keeps his line here. Yeah, I thought he was offside personally.
That's the curved run.
He did. He ran across the line.
Yeah,
and you know he showed pace as well. And he obviously took his chance class. And the other goal that I'm highlighting is work from Pritchard. The reason I'm highlighting this goal is because Pritchard makes a darting run forward. He draws the defenders out, waits for Stewart's run. It's very clever to do that. Then he lays Stewart off. He's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, class.
Oh, is it fucking about again?
Yeah, it is.
I'll sort this out so you can get a good view. Tackle the loop off. That's what it is. Yeah.
It was a perfect hat-trick winner from Stewart this game.
It was. Look, the finish on the right foot there. Yeah. The finish on the right foot.
Right foot header, perfect hat-trick.
Look at that, man.
Lovely ball by Pritchard, lovely first-time finish.
What a game.
Is this also the game where the ball came over and Pritchard didn't even look and he cut it in to Embleton?
I think it is,
I'm sure it is. The ball came over the top. I think it was a quick free kick, which Bailey White took it, I think it was, and it went in the box. Pritchard ran down looking at the ball. Embleton was behind him, he didn't even look. And he just screwed it back and then Embo just hit it in. It was class.
That's the thing with this game though, Stephen. I couldn't believe we were beating Sheffield Wednesday 5-0. Sheffield Wednesday were going to be there and thereabouts, so I know that. And we said it before the season. We did predict that they wouldn't even get into the top 6, didn't we?
Well, I thought because that had a bit of a...
Them and Wycombe, was it the other way around?
Their start of the season and all that. Well, I had Wycombe and Sheffield out the playoffs. That shows what I know.
They had a very poor start of the season.
Yeah. But like Sheffield... I think they had a poor start of the season and they really went on a run in the second half of the season, which is what got them in the playoffs where they were. Right. I mean, we're not doing because it's League One, but I strongly think they'll be challenging for the title.
Oh, definitely. I hope the day come up because they were just
cracking bunch of supporters as well.
They were just like us. They were a big club in a small, like, I don't like Sarah, but in a small league. I don't care. I hated League One. Yeah. The mentality in there is just crazy as ever from some supporters. So I'm not even bothered. Sheffield should be out of that league. It's going to be hard though because obviously Derby got relegated, but apparently Derby's got to get rid of a load of players. That's what
can't get rid of anymore. They played the kids all last season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's
the transfer embargo.
So you know they could go down again. Looking at it. But anyway, moving on. What else have we got on there?
Next one was Wycombe. Wycombe away, and I'll never forget this game. Wycombe away, it had everything. Finished 3-3.
Oh.
I was watching it at home, and I remember 2-2. In the 93rd minute, Stewart popped up and scored. I was gone nuts. I was diving around my living room. My lass was like, "Stephen, calm down." Swinging from the... I was going to say chandelier, as if I've got a chandelier. Swinging from the lights and all that. And then I lost my stream. And I was like, "Oh shit, what's going on here?" And then we got it back on, and there's Wycombe celebrating. I was like, there was 4 or 5 minutes at a time, and then they scored in the 97th minute. I was like, how does this work?
That's another game that sticks in my mind under Lee Johnson, is the fact that we couldn't see that game out. We should have won that. We should have held on to that and won that game. Under Alex Neil, I feel as if I'm going to say that we would have won that game, like definitely. But that game stuck in my mind, like. Do you know, we took the lead, pegged back, took the lead, pegged back, win the game, pegged back, nightmare.
Next game is one that we try to forget. It was basically this game. We're not going to go on too much about it, but it was basically the story of our former player, King of the North, Chris Maguire. Came over here. He didn't even play all that well.
He didn't.
But what he did do
was clinical.
What he did do was score a hat-trick. And that's what he wanted to do. I mean, he did that celebration. But actually, when he scored his first goal, he didn't actually celebrate.
Nah.
And then you actually see him, if you watch it, he was like, "That's right, I'm not celebrating." And then he thought, "Hold on, I want to go and have a word with Johnson." So he ran up to Johnson. So what he did wasn't disrespectful to Sunderland fans.
I didn't blame him, mate.
And I saying it straight away. wasn't disrespectful for the Sunderland fans. I'll get my words out eventually. He wanted to have a go at Lee Johnson because when Lee Johnson came to the club, he just benched Maguire.
For no reason.
Benched him completely, just didn't like him, didn't want him part of anything, and then he didn't play, and then released him at the end of the season, where Maguire wanted to stay because he loved his time at Sunderland.
Do you know what? Did you know he was at the Chef Wed game?
Was he?
I was at the Chef Wed game when we drew. He went there. But like I was saying, that could have been a pivotal point for me, for Lee Johnson as well. You're thinking, Chris Maguire, he has his off days, and he might pop up with a one good day out of 4, but he still could have went on to... We still could have went on to like get more points. He could have nicked those games. You never know. For me, he should never have got rid of him. Just benched him for no reason. Even if he just used them as like a rotation, used him in rotation when players are injured and shite.
Squad rotation.
No, I couldn't get the words out. Squad rotation.
And then the next game's another one similar to the one we had previous in the season. 1-0 up. Opposition. Accrington Stanley.
Red card.
They had someone sent off, and then what did we do? Finish them off? Did we shite? We sat back with 1-0, and then we let them equalise, and we drew the game 1-1.
Fucking nightmare.
Who's
that one I've got there? Shrewsbury. If you want to fast... Oh, no. We'll mention this then after this game, we'll fast forward a bit. So, because you want to be away in a minute. Right. It was Bolton Wanderers. It was an away game. We got beat. This was the worst result in Sunderland's history. We're in League One, and then we get pumped 6-0. 6-0. It was the most embarrassingest time as a Sunderland supporter, and anyway for me, getting beat 6-0 in League One. A lot of people were screaming for Lee Johnson, including me. I'm not bothered. I wanted him gone. I didn't think he was the man to get us promoted, and well, I was right in the end, wasn't I?
No, but it's a blessing in disguise. To be fair, I was one of the ones who thought we shouldn't have got rid of him, but after that, I found out, which Paul didn't know about, which I didn't know, was at the Bolton game. You know, when those fans going around and watch the players get off the bus and I'll get the photos like they do every game. And when the team bus rocked up, all the players got off. Johnson wasn't on the bus, so the players got off, met some of the fans, and then they went into the changing rooms. And after the team bus buggered off, a black BM pulled up and Lee Johnson got out of that. Stinking a drink, rough as hell off the night before, because he went down the night before, 2 days before, and he had basically one of the last with his mates down Manchester, down Bolton. And that says to me that there was other things going on behind the scenes with Speakman and KLD maybe, and that was also not just the result, which yes, like we say, is disgusting, but it was also proof to me that there was other things going on behind the scenes, which is why Johnson got the sack.
And then that was followed up by a 2-1 home defeat.
Well, it was followed by, hold on, 1, 2, 3, right. We've got the Bolton one as well, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 games without a win.
Wow.
6 games without a win.
Wow.
And which one was it?
How did he last that long, to be honest?
And we had, after that game, it was another 2 games. We had them 2 games with bloody Dick and Dom in charge.
Oh my God.
While we were still trying to find a new manager. We lost them against Doncaster and Cheltenham.
Quickly though, but the manager's situation, I know I wanted Roy Keane at the time, but listen, looking at it in hindsight, a beautiful thing. It was a blessing in disguise that Roy Keane didn't come in and we got Alex Neil, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Looking at it now, I didn't think Roy Keane would have... Well, then again, I didn't know. I really wanted...
We never will know.
We'll never will know.
But let's be honest, we got promoted, so we're not even going to look back.
Nah, we're not going to look back. Fuck it.
But this is when Alex Neil took over. First game in charge.
MK Dons got beat 1-0. They're 2-1, sorry.
But listen, his first game in charge was AFC Wimbledon. It was. His first game in charge was Wimbledon. We drew 1-1. It was. Alex Neil's first game in charge was Wimbledon. We drew 1-1. And then we lost against MK Dons. Proctor on that, we only had 1 game in charge. Proctor 2 games in charge. Dick and Tom. They had 2 games in charge. Alex Neil's first game was the Wimbledon game where we drew 1-1 and they had 10 men again. And then we got beat off.
These are for everybody comment below when Alex Neil was on the touchline. I'm 90% sure it was MK.
But he was at the club. He was at the club for the Wimbledon game. He was. The Wimbledon game was his first game, but he'd only been in. He didn't know the players' names.
That's what I was going to say to you.
But he was still on the touchline.
That's what I'm saying.
So it was still his first game in charge. He might not have knew the players or might knew everyone's name. But Wimbledon was his first game.
It was the MK Dons.
Wimbledon was his first game. We drew 1-1. Then we lost against MK Dons. Then drew against Burton.
I'm sure.
And then we went on. The Burton game was the start of our unbeaten run towards the end of the season.
do you know what? He brought a stability amongst the players, though, didn't he?
100%.
He made them believe in themselves that, you know, you can get promoted. And something what Lee Johnson couldn't. He had a plan A, B, C, D, E, F, you name it. Alex Neil.
I thought he was going to go the whole way there.
Alex Neil had it. You haven't got time. You've got to get back. But listen. Well, like I was saying, Alex Neil, he had a plan A, B, C, D. And another thing, he didn't keep the same team up until the Sheffield Wednesday games. Did you know that?
Yeah.
He changed it every game. He wasn't afraid to make changes in game and early substitutes. We were loving it. Everything he was doing was just coming off. Can you remember?
Well, it was something we weren't used to.
No.
Johnson used to make substitutions on the 88th minute.
I did.
And we think, well, what do you want them to do in a few minutes? You know what I mean? Alex Neil making substitutions at half time.
When we done
60th minute, 70th minute.
When we done our first video, year one, the channel for the first time, and we were in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Can you remember us saying, he's got a maximum substitutes. I hope he can do what he done last game and the substitutes work. And he did. He did for about three games in a row, didn't he?
He did.
It was just like, Alex Neil gets it right again. Alex Neil gets it right again with the substitutes, bearing in mind. And then obviously at Wembley, he drops Jack Clark, which was a surprise even to me. And then he brings in Elliot Embleton. And the rest is history. That's all I'm going to say.
But he had a couple of weeks in charge at this point. We drew with Burton, and that was the start of our unbeaten run. Which technically we're still unbeaten now.
We beat Wigan 3-0 away.
Hell of a game, that.
I just tossed that one in there.
Yeah.
Beat Wigan 3-0.
Hell of a game. We dominated them. They didn't know. They didn't have the answers for us that day. Then we drew with Charlton. That was my first away live stream on here. 0-0.
0-0. And then the next one was
and then the next away game. That was another 0-0. But I've got the Fleetwood game, and the Fleetwood game was there when two substitutions changed the game, wasn't it?
Aye. Fleetwood.
And then we've done the same again with the Crewe Alexander game 2 days later, the next game.
Where were? I think I've went too far. Aye, Fleetwood. Crewe Alexander. Aye, it was. You're right.
That was Dan Neil and Roberts.
His substitutes, man, it was amazing because he was bringing players off the bench and they were making an impact in the game.
Roberts set up Dan Neil in that game, and then Dan Neil set up Roberts.
Aye.
For us, it was just class.
And then where we're going,
True with Lincoln, we just spoke about that one. Then Gillingham 1-0 at home. We'll take 1-0, you know what I mean? It doesn't bother us.
Aye, Oxford 2-1 away. This is the goal I'm going to show you now, everybody. Shrewsbury, what a game. The return.
Well, it shouldn't have been a game.
The return of Flanagan.
Yeah.
It
shouldn't have been a game because after 13 minutes we were 2-0 up. And then we found it's jumping again. And then after 13 minutes we were 2-0 up. Absolutely cracking. Oh. And we thought, this is going to be 5 or 6 here. And then what did we do? Boom, we went back to Old Sunderland and we let them come out to 2-2. And then I believe it was Broadhead came off. Was it Broadhead?
Yeah, it's not alright then, mate. This is it. It was one of the goals in the game. I got it on a vlog and it was amazing when it went in. I slowed it down and everything. It looked class. You were on the channel end. That was a class goal.
Class.
I'll quickly move that out of the way. And that's the next one if there was any more games.
But at that game there were 2-2. And then I think it was Broadhead. I might be wrong, but somebody brought someone on anyway, and then they scored a winner. In fact, it was Broadhead. He scored the winner basically in the last few minutes of the game, which is what Alex Neil made a habit of, which is why we loved him so quickly. I think because instead of messing them up at the end of the game, we were actually winning them at the end of the game, which was new to us in League One.
Was what went on to smash Cambridge 5-0, and a few other draws in there. With Rotherham, the lad who scored the goal for Rotherham also scored for us. Thankfully,
what a goal!
And it was a crucial point at the end of the season. It was a very crucial point at home against Rotherham.
And then the last game of the season was Morecambe away. It was a bit of a shit match, but I think what it was terrible. I think when we're seeing both managers, when they're seeing results elsewhere, I think both teams just took the foot off the gas. Morecambe realised that they didn't need to win. And we knew that no matter whether we scored 10 or whatever, we were going to finish in 5th, which is where we finished anyway. And
then we'll quickly touch upon the Sheffield Wednesday game. The first game we should have been out the side, Stephen, in the playoffs. We had numerous chances, could have been 3 or 4-0 up. We only took a 1-0 lead to their place at Hillsborough. And then, they scored. And I thought, you remember the stream? It was an amazing stream, to be honest. It was a class stream. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It's hilarious, especially when we score. But like I say, I was down in the dumps. I thought that this was our one day, and you were saying, it's alright, there's plenty of time. Then Clark, believe it or not,
popped up, 92nd minute, boom.
Roberts beats the man, gets in front of the defender, puts it away. we're going to Wembly. Then, Stephen,
what a weekend it was.
If you can remember it.
I remember it. I was fine, me.
But these the goals, and anyway, we'll start off with the boys. If it errors, why is it not showing it? Is it? Ah, well, it's not showing us. I don't even know why it's doing it. Apparently, it not shows that one, so we'll have a look at the other one. We'll have a look at Ross Stewart's in anyway. Yeah.
Oh, there's Ross Stewart here.
Is it on?
Yeah.
Doing that daft thing again.
2
minutes, I'll just stop it.
I mean, the video's not working for it, but we'll all remember, we've all seen them. I've seen them about 50 odd times now. Aye. But Embleton's goal, where he turned, making the space, just drove forward into the space, took it outside, and he hit it with such power, such ferocity. That
you've been eating dictionaries.
You know what I mean? And then it was just a great finish. People saying the keeper should have done better. But it was that powerful, and it was waving like that. And for me, it was just a hell of a goal, you know what I mean? It was. And then obviously the Stewart goal, which we've just seen there. Lovely work by Pritchard and Roberts out on the sideline. Pritchard walked in. Stewart got himself that couple of yards of space. Aye. Got the ball, cut inside, through the defender's legs, bottom corner. Done and dusted. Championship, here we come.
That's simple as that. But another thing about Alex Neil, just quickly before we go on, Stephen, he wasn't afraid to change it. He made Clark, he dropped Clark. Then he brought on Elliot Embleton, which we were surprised about. He supports Sunderland. Go and make history, lad. Write your name in the books. And he did. But then Wycombe started getting back into the game, and he wasn't even afraid to take off the goal scorer Embleton, and he did, which I love about Alex Neil. He's not bothered about making substitutes. He took them off, and everything just worked out for us that day, and we're in the championship. So, Sarah to that.
Aye.
Right, Stephen, do you want to wrap it up now? Or should
we'll jump on the chat. There's some people saying that Alex Neil's first game was MK Dons. I still think he was in the seat for the Wimbledon game, but he'd only been there like I was.
I knew he was. I tell you he was MK Dons, but you wouldn't have it. Is this fresh? This chat?
Yeah, that's fresh. That
want to go back a bit or not?
You can do. It's just people chatting.
About that. Just have a few mentions.
Aye.
But hit the thumbs up before you've gone, everybody, and subscribe if you
There's someone saying there, own Sarah saying that they never knew that about Johnson. Apparently there's not a lot of people who do. Yeah. The only reason I know it is because I was one of the old boys from the veterans that I go to, veterans meetings that I go to. He was down there with his grandkids, and he was fuming because his grandkids had waited to meet the players and Lee Johnson. And then when he came out, he said he stunk a drink, unshaven and all that, and he basically rough as hell.
Well, he did look. If you look at his interview after that game, he did look rough as hell.
So he should have to get beat fucking 6-0. Someone said I love Maguire, not just for his football skills. Oh, I calm down, love. Yeah. Someone said I love your channel. Thank you very much, Oliver. SAFC FTM. That's a lovely name.
Class name. Anyway, while he's just scrolling down, when we get to the stadium, we'll be at the statue and we'll be getting interviews off people if like score predictions before, and we might do a few after we didn't know. But we're definitely going to be we'll be there all the time really before every home game. About 20 minutes before, so if you want to come on the channel, just come then.
Aye. That's not it, really. That's about it, really. There's people talking about saying Wembley was the best weekend of my life and all that. And
same.
Like someone saying there that the Friday night Trafalgar Square was just unbelievable.
No, it was, wasn't it?
The Resonator saying that the night after was even better. You're the only one I've heard say that. Everyone else who was down there the week after said it was a bit. Obviously, everyone's buzzing still, but they're saying it was compared to I think the difference between obviously the Friday and Saturday is the Friday. There was more people there, and also everyone was full of hope and anticipation, and everyone was like. Everyone was getting psyched up, ready for the match, and like getting into the atmosphere. Whereas on the Saturday, it'll have been a bit more flat because not only because people have been in a 48-hour session, but also there was nothing to look forward to because the game had been and gone. So yes, you've won. We've got promoted. It was great. Everyone's buzzing. But I just think the atmosphere of the anticipation and the game looking forward to.
The bands pinched our cans, didn't they? Well, he pinched my cans.
I pinched mine and all mine.
No, he did. They were, but they're old enough, near enough.
Someone saying apparently the players got on the lash in the champagne bar in Durham after a win. I bet they did.
No,
I got to the offie and buy 4 cans of Skull and go and sit on the school field like I used to when I was a teenager.
It's alright for some, man. Durham.
Aye.
What on?
I can't afford the taxi through to Durham. No mind figuring the drinks when I get there. You know what I mean? But anyway, that there's just a look back over the season, talk about some key moments. Showing you some of the goals when they worked. And like I say, it's just a bit crackling. Only the season's finished. We'll like to come on, still have a bit of interaction with us, give you something to watch, slag us off for. What's the final result? Oh, right, there you go. 74% dip in the Baltic North Sea. Thanks very much.
That's I forgot about that. I'm glad someone said that. That is the end result of the poll. Stephen will be digging a video of this, so it'll be on the channel. And you'll obviously leave the comment on it. 74%
dip in the Baltic North Sea.
Baltic North Sea.
Right.
What do you want to do? Do you want to go off the pier or just
I'm not going off the pier.
Why?
Because you didn't jump off the pier.
I've done it before.
I'll get attacked off dolphins if I jump off the pier, man. we'll get it sorted.
I meant that thing, what you said when you were
the promenade. The promenade's one thing, but freaking at the end of the pier, bloody hell, trying to kill us. Bloody hell. But anyway, you'll see it because he'll have it on video.
Oh, we'll do a video of it.
I'll speak to you before I do it, and then you'll see us do it, and then you can see us try and speak after it when I'm fucking gibbering me tits off.
When it's minus 45 or something like that.
But like I say, that there was just a little look back over the season. Thanks for those of you who joined us. Before we can, hit the like and subscribe if you're new. And let's be honest, we'll see you again whenever there's any new information comes up. Catch us in a bit, everybody.
See you later, everyone.